Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I got a lot of things going on. There's going to be an Aurori guide coming out. We got to get footage for that, all of that stuff. But I heard that our favorite friends over at Prydwen have indeed updated the tier list. So let's go through. It's one of our favorite things to do. Every time a new character comes out, see where they land on the tier list. We're looking at that, and then maybe we'll see if there's a spot in the team tier list for them as well. Let's check this out. Now, this is going to be the updated official Prydwen tier list. Information on the tier list. Changelog. Let's check this one out. Patch 1.2 changelog. Our first limited support character has arrived. While she isn't shaking up the tier list crazy in any way, there are a few changes. Okay, boys, let's see this. Shinku, 0.5 to tier 0. With the addition of Aurori, Shinku gains quite a lot of benefits of having her in the team. Instead of needing to choose between more consistent charges with Hananiel or crowd control with Ginuwan, Aurori can do both. That's true. That is true. I'm going to have a couple of things to say about my girl, Ginuwan, when we make our own tier list. We said that it might be coming when Aurori came out. But, hey, Shinku can lose out on a lot of damage when the boss becomes untargetable. But even with that being that... What is this? Shinku can lose out on a lot of damage when the boss becomes untargetable. Know the boss you're fighting against. Because the flip side of that is also true. Any downtime Shinku could possibly have in her A0 rotation becomes no downtime when the boss is untargetable. So, not sure if I agree with this part right here. Sure. Yeah, whatever. With that being the case, her burst is very strong now. And she'll destroy most bosses with 2 ultimates, sometimes even 1. Yeah, this was happening before Aurori came out. We've covered this many times on the channel. I'm not going to take the time to throw stuff up like I usually do during this Prydwen tier list. But yeah, we were already doing that. We were defeating big bosses in like an ultimate and a half, right? With the A0 rotation. So she was already a tier 0 character and she just got bumped up to tier 0. I said that they would be doing this when Aurori came out so they could be like, oh, Shinku got even stronger with this new character. She was already 0. Now she's even like 0. She's like tier 0, right? This performance shift along with a better understanding. Here we go. This is really what the tier list shift up to from 0.5 to 0 is about. With a better understanding of how to play Shinku in a variety of different teams, this is what has bumped her up to tier 0. It's true. I think it's a better understanding of how to play the game has bumped her up to tier 0, dude. All right, let's go with that. Aurori, tier 0. I'm probably not going to disagree with this because she does a couple of other things, a lot of them in a better fashion than some other tier 0 animal sports. So our resident sheep keeper has arrived. She's our first limited healer and buffer, putting Edgar to shame, my brother and sisters in Christ. I think everyone in the game puts Edgar to shame. Whatever. When using her signature arc, the Wrong Gate, Aurori provides her teammates with a 5% defense ignore, 15% universal damage, and 20% of attack for 20 seconds. Healing and crowd control. Sure, yeah. She does a lot of things. The signature arc, guys, we're gonna have it more on the guide as well. It's a fine arc, but if you're asking the question like, should I pull on the arc or should I save it for future arcs? I'm kind of low on my arc cash. I'd save it for a DPS character. She doesn't really have a lot of other options at the moment. I think her second best option is whatever Daffodils is usually called, the one with like break intensity on it and stuff, is what you can do with Aurori. It also has like the ability where you chain enemies when your teammates are using quick swap abilities. The support abilities to do the Esper cycle reactions. You can do some damage with that as well. You do get like a, like an 8, 9 and some change percent. I do believe the math is on that, like damage increase if you use her own signature arc. But a lot of characters that you've seen, especially some of the DPS characters, or even like some of the support DPS characters like Hathor, Lacrimosa, you get a lot more bang for your buck out of those signature arcs. So sorry for going off the signature arc ramble there, but it's true. She does do a lot of stuff in her own kit. She doesn't necessarily just have to have the signature arc for her to be useful, even at A0. Combine this with Speedy Hedgehog and even more attack for the team. It's true. You've got yourself the best support in the game! Exclamation point. All of these factors in combination with almost all the main DPS in the game have been able to create a reaction with... What? In combination with almost all of the main DPS in the game so far, being able to create a reaction with her have landed her in T0. I don't agree with this. She's got enhanced blossom, bro. Like it don't matter. I don't care if an incantation DPS is coming out right around the corner, who's probably going to be hex based. Aurori is probably going to be okay in there. She's universal, but like this is such a weird tag. You can make blossoms with main DPSs in the game, like the one actual like what? Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna go into that too much. I'm not gonna hammer on that because my eyes have been drawn down here. Hananiel has fallen down apparently from T0 to T0.5. Now that we have seen what Hada is doing with their dedicated support characters, it is hard to place Hananiel in the same tier as Aurori and Sakiri. The main reason is that her buff duration is shorter than both of theirs, making her less flexible on teams when playing as her. In addition, both Aurori and Sakiri have crowd control in their kits, making them making them useful for more than just buffing. Lastly, we don't have as many characters that can take advantage of Hananiel in a team where the other characters aren't strictly better. She remains a strong option if you don't have either of the other support characters mentioned, but with the notable difference, she is landing firmly in T0.5. I disagree with this like wholeheartedly. I mean, this character is still insane. Everyone's gonna have dupes for this character. If you've been playing since launch, you probably have an A6 Hananiel. You really only need like an A2 Hananiel, and a lot of the duration increases, cooldown stuff on Hananiel support is reduced or bumped up with having 2 dupes of her. And she has in no way does she compete for teams with Aurori. She's a psychic character. She's literally on the opposite side of the elemental wheel. And with that being said, Hananiel's shown up in teams where she has no inherent synergy really with a lot of other characters. You remember on launch when we had like Hananiel and anyone who attacks fast, like the Nanali team, right? The Nanali Hex squad with a random Hananiel in it. Yeah, Hananiel's still insane. It is true that she doesn't have crowd control and stuff, but she does attack buff, she can give crit damage buff, and she also isn't comparably like in the same category as Aurori, because one's an anima character, one's a psychic character. They're never really going to interact on the same teams, no matter what we're doing with future game design in NTE. To have an anima and a psychic, you'd have to be running like anima, psyche. You can't even make like you have to go like anima, incantation, chaos, and a psychic character all in the same team and say that I'm having a good time there, which I don't believe that's happening anytime soon. Anyway, because we also have chaos and Nanali and Chiz. Oh, Chiz A6 still tier 0. Oh, okay. Chiz got better because there's an anima support, and apparently, Chiz can create a reaction with her, and Chiz is A0, T0 at A6. Guys, what are we doing here? All right, all of these characters are already T0, not Chiz, and all of them benefit from Aurori being added. Chiz benefits the least because she has no synergy with any character in the game at all. I think that speaks volumes about why she probably doesn't belong in T0. Even at A6, she has no inherent synergy with any character in a Neverness to Everness. Just throw that one out there for you, okay? Pardon me, I just woke up. I haven't had coffee yet. All right. She's benefits the least. Since the attacks buffs are mostly wanted. Yeah, true, because, she doesn't scale off that. Thank you. But she can take advantage of universal damage that comes from Irori's signature arc. One of the most skippable signature arcs in the game. Bro, we are going above and beyond to support this character, dude. She can get buffed up from her signature arc. One of possibly the most skippable signature arcs that has ever been released in this game. And we're gonna look at the highlighted part. If you can zoom in on this with your screen. Look at this sentence. Almost half of this thing about how these 3 characters haven't been changed. Half of this is about how Chiz can benefit off of Aurori's signature arc. Not Nanali, not Chaos, who's probably gonna be in those teams as well. No, Chiz. That's Chiz, A0, dude. Don't worry, it's trust, it's fine. With this in mind, everyone else has maintained their placement in T0 for now. Hey man, at least we didn't get the Hada's known for power creep, and Nanali falls down 1 tier. Edgar, tier 3 to tier 2.999. Edward's a liquid character, and so is Aurori. He's able to equip her signature arc. It ain't really that good. We ran out of things to talk about. He's also able to comfortably meet the trigger conditions for 100% uptime if you swap him often. This isn't meaningful enough, dude. All right, Edgar sucks. We're not, listen. Watch list, nothing specifically has changed for Skia since the Shinku patch, but his Remoral application can bug when bosses go too far away from you. This makes the 17 second expected Remoral duration drop to less than 10 seconds on some durations. If this bug persists and is not in fact a bug, then this inconsistency will lead us to reevaluate his performance. Bro, isn't he already, I mean, he's like tier 2 on my list and I don't do 0.5. So let's see exactly where we have all the boys lined up now, because I can't remember if they moved him up or something. Chaos 0, fine. Chiz A6, I don't give a crap. She's down in tier 1. We're not even doing tier 0.5 for Chiz A6. Throw her down to 1. Lacrimosa busted, tier 0. Nanali, super strong, 0. If you wanted to make an argument for like, maybe teams are leaving Nanali behind in some way, shape, or form and move her to 0.5, this was the patch to do it. I still don't believe so, but hey, that's the patch to do it. Because we have some pretty sizable characters. Like, for main DPS, I think the ones that are kind of touting the game right now, Nanali, Chaos, Lacrimosa, and Shinku. If you're making teams around these 4 characters, right, not necessarily in the same team, you're gonna have a very powerful team. Those are the DPS. They're just that good. They're the T0 standard, right? So that's where I would put those 4 characters. Hathor and 0, yes sir. Main character, yes sir. Busted cycle ability. Hathor even got extra teams. We talked about the last tier list. Because she got shoved out of some kind of Blossom team. People are like, what do I do with her? If I have Shinku and Hathor, they don't really do a whole lot. You can keep her in that team. It is a team you can use, but you can also put her down in like a Lacrimosa squad, which sounds interesting and bad. I mean, she doesn't do anything there, but being able to copy skills and just having strong damage off of her burst without really interrupting like the Lacrimosa, Hananiel, Sakiri triple support setup, and also Hathor still getting all of the benefits of having 2 attack buffers and a crit damage buffer and extra defense pen ignore and stuff in that same team. She still works wonders there. Aurori, amazing. Crowd control, buffs your team up in a lot of ways. Healing cool. Revive stuff, I'm very glad they didn't like tout like, oh, you can revive your teammates, all this other stuff. It's temporary, and I take that as a meaningful way for Hada to be telling us that if your characters die, maybe we'll give you a way to like get them back for a few seconds and finish the fight in some way. Outside of that, yeah, she's not like a full reviver. If you get sheep, you get turned into a sheep. Yeah, you can ult them back and turn back, you know, their dead sheep corpse into a person for like 8 seconds or whatever. And then they go back into being a sheep. So she's not like a reviver. She's not bringing someone back to life. She is very similar to a slight healing, attack buffing, crowd controlling damage dealer, in the way that she does her Blossom enhancement that just makes them with Shinku is another way for you to get a bunch of extra Shinku skills during Shinku's burst. Very similar to how you were able to spam them out into Shinku the Nanali setup. If you're an Nanali skipper, you didn't get Nanali, you don't have access to her like me, then Aurori is going to give you access to an even stronger Shinku burst mode. You're going to get like an extra like 4 E's off of your Shinku burst comparatively to before, which makes her a lot stronger, but also you were still killing things in like 2 bursts before. So crazy. Sakiri not going down anywhere. Chiz A3, let's drop you to like tier 2 at this point. You have no inherent synergy with anybody. You're fine. It's cool. I get it. Leave the comments down there. She can solo the tower. Guess who else can? Any other main DPS in the game. Good for you. All right, moving on. Hathor, I would say that she actually got a little bit better comparatively than before. In the Shinku setup, she was a little bit weird because like she didn't have the longest duration for Remora, so you had really tight windows on doing the Shinku charge reaction during the burst, and that's why a lot of players were using Skia, because Skia's Remora would like last longer because he would keep refreshing it, right? Especially if you have like the, I think it's his A4 activated, because it makes his tail buff last like 12 seconds, which makes the Remora not fall off while they're within your purview, apparently. And I've noticed that bug myself. There's been a lot of comments about that, and that is something that needs to get looked at. I would assume that it's a bug, but maybe it's not. But more about Hathor, she got better because now with the way that Aurori works, you can, in the Shinku squad, you go from Shinku into Aurori first, do Blossom, and then go into the main character, and then go into Hathor, and that 12-second Remora is more than enough, because you're activating it second now, because you're able to do that because of the way that the Aurori passive works. It has like a 3-second delay before it spawns that extra flower, and that's the one you really care about. So you have about the 3-second window. Go into Aurori, have 3 seconds as you do that, do the rest of your stuff, go back into Shinku and ult. And Hathor got a little bit better that way. She's a lot more consistent in that manner in this Shinku setup. Ginuwan, they have her in 0.5. I typically had her in 0. In mine, I'll probably move her down to 0.5, simply because Aurori, in my opinion, for a lot of the things that Shinku that you would want in a Ginuwan team, you can kind of do that. Now, the one thing that Ginuwan does have, like, a death hold on is spawning 2 flowers every time you do blossom. So if we go back into, we make even more blossoms, and it's the best way to run a blossom team. She is still like the core to a blossom team. In fact, you can do that right now. You can do Hananiel plus Ginuwan plus Aurori, and you just have, I'm sure you've seen the clips already, just flowers, 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 my guy. Chain spawn, machine gun, flowers everywhere. And it's super fun team, and you throw like the main character in there, or if you want like a delayed version of it, Hathor in that party. That's kind of like the only team where, like, if you're like, Josh, what anima support should I be using between, or anima character in this squadron with like a Shinku charge team or whatever, it's going to be Aurori, right? Hananiel is going to be second to that. Ginuwan is going to be third to that, because she doesn't do anything super special in that team. And then it's like, hey, well, I'm doing my blossom team with like Zero and Hathor and Hananiel. Like who else should I put in that? And it's like, oh, probably Aurori, right? If you're getting kicked down to the side, then maybe you're not in T0 anymore, and that's where I'm with that. Hananiel still deserves to be up in T0. They have A6 support Hananiel in T.5. I don't understand this in any way, shape, or form. Good luck on you. King, listen, they don't talk and give him enough credit. I think he's a fantastic character still. A lot of players have a lot of issues with him for some reason. It's because you're just spamming the normal attack button. Don't do that. Spam his pull in with the left click on your mouse or your basic attack button. Hold that thing down, and he'll just keep drawing enemies into you. If you're worried about crowd control, he has the most crowd control of any character in the game. And you can also do the spam a hold back on the right click, which is the dodge, right? And he'll do a bunch of AoE damage. You get to do cool stuff that way. So he's a fantastic character, and he might get a little bit better if we start getting some like hexed support characters, which I think will be on the horizon. I think we're seeing a little bit of hex support in the next coming patches, so keep him up on your radar. If you want someone on a watch list, that's what you put on a watch list. All right, Daffodil A0, I think she's still fine. I think this is where she kind of belongs for the time being. Nothing's really changed on the bottom of the tier list. Fadia, same thing for my tier list. She's good. I think I don't have like this tier 1.5 garbage, but Fadia and Daffodil are still doing all right. Adler is okay. He really doesn't have like a giga home right now because there's so many supports, right, that are better than him. These three, I think if I'm like, what supports do I want to put in my party, or a sub DPS of some choice, depending on what elements you're running, fantastic. With Sakiri, Aurori is another competition to him in a lot of ways. Hananiel beats his breaks off. He does have the shield stuff, and he's very nice for that. But as you learn a boss, as you learn your characters, as you learn your rotation, you stop being so sloppy, then he gets worse and worse for you. Now, if you're on like mobile or something, listen, I'm never going to be able to play this game on mobile. You want some more survivability in your team. He is probably, him or Aurori are the two best to like give you a little bit of survivability and damage depending on which sort of team you're running, right? If you're running like the top element team right now, Aurori is going to be your girl for you. If you're running like a bottom element Discord team and you want a little bit of survivability in there, then Adler or Fadia can help you out in those regards as well. This 1.5 stuff for Aurelia and Skia, I have them all in tier 2. That's where they belong, and I think it's hilarious. There's an up arrow on Edgar down here in 3. As Skia, I would just leave Skia in 2. Like, I don't think he's going to get any worse. I don't think he's going to get any better in conjunction with Aurori. I said Hathor got a little bit better. It does not necessarily mean that I also think that Skia got a little bit worse. They do different things. But the consistency of his application, if you see that, a lot of the times we've noticed it when we were making content, like they said, fair, and they're correct. Like if a boss, like, I'm going to fly up in the air and come down, there's something to do with like the game's ability for his passive to keep triggering Remora as the boss like does the fly up in the air thing and then come down. It's like, it's an out of range. I don't really know what's going on, but you will see the boss like lose for more. It won't be gray anymore and it'll come down. You're like, well, there goes all of my damage. So that's a thing to keep in mind there. The weird thing about that is in that team with Shinku, the boss battles last, like I said, like 2 ults. So if that happens, what happens? You just like go hit restart and you come back and then it doesn't happen again. It's just more like of a nuisance and an annoyance, and I think it should get patched out. Not that I'm saying it will, but it is something to keep in mind. I don't think it necessarily makes them worse. It's always been like that comparatively to Hathor. I think they're both like kind of equal in that team. The main thing, if you're asking Josh, which one should I use though? If you have the ability to put Good Boy's Grand Adventure on Skia and maybe also give him something that revolves around, you know, using your ultimate to like the support, use your ultimate, the speedy, whatever it's called, speedy hedgehog. That's the setup you want to use on your Skia there. But outside of that, I don't think he's any worse or any better than he was before in that particular team. I'm going to be probably using my ticket on Hathor just so I can get the Wolfman out of my party. You know what I'm saying? Just get him gone. Just get him out of here, right? But with that being said, yeah, all these other characters, kind of whatever. And Edgar, I like how Edgar got like the biggest changelog blurb in the entire world, which like he can use the new artifact. Good for him. With that being said, God bless out there. Look forward to more future NTE content. I'll catch you guys. Smash the like button, by the way. I guess. Let's just see what happens if we do that. And I'll catch you guys. It's too early for this in the next one.